Some say Chinese is one of the most difficult languages in the world, and learning it is almost impossible.
So learning Chinese, the most difficult thing.
非常非常非常非常非常难
So I'm sort of tone deaf. I can't really hear them.
I think the cultural mindset is the biggest complication for
The
us.
grammar.
知吃思诗都还难
It's just complicated so much.
Only because you're not learning it in the right way. Why not try Takeaway Chinese, where you can take some Chinese away and experience progress day by day. Takeaway Chinese, we will promise you a difference.
你好，欢迎收听随行汉语 Welcome to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niao Honglin, and joining me today, Georgia Masad. Hello, Georgia.
Hello everyone. I hope everyone is having a great day.
Isn't that the wish that we always have for everybody? And hopefully you're having a good mood listening to Takeaway Chinese because, learning always can put me in a good mood, and learning through a podcast show should be more entertaining in my opinion. Speaking of entertaining, I was wondering, Georgia, when you read novels, watch movies, or watch TV series, do you have specific genres that particularly interest you?
Well, I want to say I'm a little bit into everything, but it's not true because I tend to avoid everything that's horror related or with too much blood. Usually it would be historical novels, but I'm a very big fan of Star Wars and everything that's into galaxies. Really?
Yes. I like sci-fi. I like hard science fiction as well as the one that concentrates a little bit more on the more humane side, like how explore the future, how explore the space, and if there's any ethic-related problems, how do you handle it in the current human society? All that interests me quite so much as well. In Chinese, we say 科幻.
科幻.
Yes, 科 stands for 科学, that's science, and 幻 stands for 幻想. 幻想would be fantasy or fiction. So 科幻, 科学幻想, that's the sci-fi genre. I think it's a very fascinating area that interests me quite a lot.
Actually, even in books and everything, it's really interesting to see how galaxies, everything that it's very far away from us, but at the same time, the protagonists are humans, so we can relate to them in somehow, but not their way of transportation. And so we have a very big trouble even with our fantasy.
Oh, definitely. So I was wondering, are you particularly interested in the kind of sci-fi that centers around the Earth, like something happened to the human society, or are you interested in the interstellar kind of sci-fi that involves the whole universe, different species, different value system, different worldview, like the one that you said, Star Wars? Which kind is like the one that touches you the most?
It's a very interesting question. I would say the first case is very interesting, where our heroes have to leave Earth for some reason. But at the same time, I actually prefer the second, where protagonists already live into a galaxy or into some particular planet. And I like to think because of this reason, since the galaxy is so vast and there's so much we haven't explored, that these people actually could exist and have their own society with their own rules, with their own languages, and we actually don't know about it. So I find it interesting.
That is exactly what I feel as well. And hopefully the topic of this space travel also excites our listeners for today's Takeaway Chinese, because that is going to be the theme of this episode. So for our dear listeners, if you're interested in Chinese culture and you want to get a grip on the Chinese language, then this is the show for you. Stick with us for 30 minutes and you soon see the rewards. And for more fun Chinese learning, follow our Facebook page, Learn Chinese, to watch many fun videos and live streams. But now, let's provide you with some free Chinese for takeaway.
这部关于星际旅行的电影，我看了5遍，推荐给你。
星际旅行，听起来很遥远啊。
我也觉得现在的科技还不够成熟。
但我相信一直探索下去，人类总有一天能实现这个梦想。
是啊。
And that is the conversation. I feel like it's the Chinese version of the conversation that we've just had. So hopefully after today's episode, you'll be able to discuss the related topic with your friends in Chinese as well.
I think so too. It actually looks like a conversation that we might be having after having watched Star Wars or Star Trek, something like that.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the language side of the dialogue first. For the first sentence, 这部关于星际旅行的电影，我看了5遍，推荐给你。
I've watched this movie about interstellar travel 5 times already. I highly recommend it.
So 这部
this bu as a measure word for movies, something talking, yes, for movies, I would say.
Yes, actually, 部 can also be the measure word for example, a novel or a certain artwork. So 这部作品, this work. Yes, it has something to do with movies. It can also be used for TV series. I don't recall many people using it for TV shows, as in reality show or a variety show, mostly because I feel like 部 is the kind of measure word that you use for relatively serious artwork. So 一部作品, it has to be close to a masterpiece. It has to be close to a relatively serious artwork. Whereas, for example, variety shows, 一部综艺, I think you can use it. People will still understand you, but it's not that common. Whereas 一部电影 or 一部小说, if you're saying 一部小说, one novel, then the novel must be something quite up to standard in a way.
Okay, yes. It's like a classic or it may be a very long novel also.
Yeah, something relatively major.
Okay.
So that's 这部关于
guānyú, regarding, about?
Yes, actually you can use it in your daily language quite so much. For example, if I ask you 今天的随行汉语是关于什么的?
What is today's episode about?
Yes, exactly. So what is today's episode of Takeaway Chinese is about? So it's literally about. Or you can say about this issue, I have something I want to say. 关于这个话题我有一些话想说. So 关于 about 这个话题 this topic 我有一些话想说. I have something I need to say. So 关于 about, regarding, it's used quite so frequently in Chinese.
Perfect. Yeah, it looks like something we could use a lot.
Yes. And then we have the key word of today's episode, 星际旅行.
星际旅行, interstellar travel.
So 星 stands for 星球, so stars or stellar. 际 means actually among. For example, 国际, that'll be international. So international basically means among different nations. So 际 carries the meaning of among. So 国际, 星际. That's the 际 character. And 旅行, we know this one.
Travel.
Yes, and apparently no matter if you're traveling in different cities, in different countries, or different stars, you're still traveling and you can still use the same word in Chinese or in English. So 旅行 would be travel.
That's true, 旅行.
Yes. And 电影.
电影, movie.
Movie. How about TV shows, TV series?
Ooh, I don't know that one.
电视剧.
电视剧.
Yes. So we know 电 stands for 电视, that's the TV. And 剧 is a drama or a series. So 电视剧 would be the kind of TV dramas or TV series.
电视剧.
We have 电影, that's movie. 电视剧, TV series. 综艺节目.
综艺节目.
That's variety shows. My feeling is that 综 carries the meaning of all around, a little bit of everything, and 艺 means art. So 综艺 variety shows, it's like a little bit of everything, and it's the kind of show that has a lot of different elements. That's my understanding.
Yes, I think it's correct. It talks about everything.
A little bit of everything. 综艺节目. So that's the main entertainment materials or entertainment that you can get on TV or on screen these days. Of course, there's still short videos or live streams. Short video being 短视频, literally 短 short, video 视频.
短视频.
And also 直播 live stream.
直播.
Yes, and of course our favorite podcast, 播客.
补课.
Yes, 播客. For some reason, I give you a glossary of different entertainment materials, entertainment forms, but I think it can be quite useful.
That is so helpful.
I'm glad. Okay, then we have 我
I
看了
I saw,
or watched
watched, yes.
五遍
5遍, 5 times.
5 times. Actually, 遍 means times. And this, again, is a very common measure word. You can watch a movie for 5 times. 看了电影5遍. You can write something down for 10 times. For example, if you're in primary school and you're learning the words and teachers might tell you 把这首诗抄5遍. Repeat or writing down the poem for 5 times on your practice books so that you remember it, something like that. So different times.
So everything that's linked to a repetition, whatever the repetition might be.
Basically,
or doing
yes.
it more than once. Yeah, okay.
推荐
推荐, to recommend.
to recommend 给你
I recommend it to you.
Yes, 给 here is kind of like the character or word you use to indicate the direction of the verb. It's not exactly give you. It can be translated as to you, sometimes for you. Again, indicates the receiver of the action.
Mm-hmm.
And then 星际旅行听起来很遥远啊.
Interstellar travel, that sounds like something from the distant future.
Yes, so 星际旅行 again is interstellar travel, and 听起来
听起来, I love it. It seems like, it looks like.
It sounds like in this case.
Yes.
So we also have 看起来 for it looks like. But actually, I think besides the situation where you're actually looking at it or actually listening to it, like you have just mentioned, both 听起来, 看起来 carry the meaning of it seems like. So from a relatively more figurative way of speaking, you can use both 听起来 and 看起来. But of course, if you're talking to each other and you want to say, oh, it sounds really interesting, you use 听起来. So still, it depends on the context.
Yes, 看起来 wouldn't make any sense if someone is just talking. There's nothing to look at. So yes.
Yes.
听起来
And 很
very
遥远
far away, distant.
Actually, both characters 遥 and 远 carry the meaning of far away, and you can see these characters in other words with these kind of connotations as well. For example, remote control would be a 遥控器.
遥控器
Yes, so 遥 is like from a certain distance, remotely. 控制 control, 器 machine. So a machine that can help you to control something remotely, that'll be a remote control. So
Oh yeah, makes perfect sense.
yes,
遥
so
控器
that's why I say once you got a little bit foundation of Chinese, once you started to understand the different meanings of different characters in different words, it gets easier because they all relate to each other.
Yeah, maybe at the beginning is the hardest for a non-Chinese speaker to get to know the characters, but then I wouldn't say it makes sense, but it starts to make sense at a certain point.
Yes, so both 遥 and 远 mean far away, distant, and 遥远, distant. And like in the sentence, yes, when we talk about 遥远, it can be in a distant place or distant future. So it can be used both in terms of space and time.
So yeah, both of them very far away in the future.
Yes. 我也觉得现在的科技还不够成熟.
I don't think that our current technology is mature enough either.
我
I
也
also
觉得
to I think
I feel, yes. 现在的
today's at this moment.
Yes, perfectly. So 现在 is now, so today's or current. 科技 is 科学技术. 科学 science 技术 technology. So 科技 science and technology. 还
still
不够
not enough.
Not enough. 成熟
to be mature.
To be mature enough. And 成熟 means mature. And we know this sentence actually, you can also say, 我也不觉得现在的科技够成熟. So when you want to express the idea that you feel something is not, you can also say, I don't feel something is there already. So it doesn't really matter where you put the negative signal in this sentence structure. And in the meantime, 不够 is also quite a useful way to express the idea that something is not enough.
不够.
Yes, so 不够 means not enough. We know 够 means enough, so 不够 would be not enough. Of course, it can be that you want something. This number of something is not enough, so you want more. It can also mean something is not good enough, or not fast enough, or not beautiful enough. So that is expressed in the structure of a subject plus 不够 plus the adjective or the verb.
Okay, so it can be used for a very for many situations. So to describe a person, a thing, and maybe also an organic something for everything.
Yes. For example, I can say 你说的不够清楚.
You didn't speak clearly enough.
Yes. So in this case, 不够 is used to describe clear. So not clear enough. That's 说的不够清楚. I can also say 这些菜不够吃.
This food is not enough.
Yes, it's not enough. We need more. So in this case, we're talking about actually more dishes are required. How about if you want to say there's not enough room to sit? It's just too small. We need more space to sit.
这里太小了。不够坐.
不够坐. Perfect. I didn't even tell you this just yet, but 不够坐. We know 坐 is a verb, and you're using 不够 to describe 坐. So essentially, what you're saying is that there's not enough room to sit. But in Chinese, you can omit the room because it's indicated in the context. It's the same thing as 不够吃. We talked about 不够吃, not enough for us to eat. But in the Chinese structure, you use 不够 to directly describe the verb.
Okay. Can I say also something different without a verb? So 钱不够, for example, money is not enough.
You can say 钱不够. You can also say 钱不够花.
钱不够花.
Because 花 is the verb. It's the spend. I do not have enough money to spend.
Oh, okay. So I'm also describing the verb. Okay.
Yeah, see, you're also... I think if we are really strict with logic, what you're describing is actually the noun, the receiver of the action. You're still describing the object instead of the verb itself. But in the structure, it seems like you're describing the verb. Or you can remember it as you're describing the verb, so you can use this correctly in a Chinese sentence.
I will remember it.
That's how you use 不够. And I know it's rarely the case, but you can also say 作业根本不够写.
Today, I really didn't study.
No, it means the homework. There's not enough homework for me. I need more homework.
Yeah, that's not the case.
No, it's not the case. But you can use it.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 不够. And then we have...但我相信一直探索下去，人类总有一天能实现这个梦想。
But I'm convinced that as long as we continue our exploration, this dream will one day come true.
但
But
我
I
相信
I'm convinced, I trust.
And 相信 is a verb. It can only be used as a verb because in Chinese, as well as in English, actually a lot of words can be used both as verbs and as noun, but it's not the case for 相信. 相信 is a verb.
Only as a verb, okay.
一直
continuously, as long as.
Actually, 一直 is also interesting because we know 直 carries the meaning of straight. So 一直 is like straight, always straight for a continuous period of time. So 一 because we know 一 is one or altogether or whole. So 一直 actually, like you said, carries the meaning of continuously. So, for example, I can say 我一直在学习中文.
I have been studying Chinese all along.
All along, yes, all along would be good translation as well. Or you can say 老板一直很忙.
The boss is always very busy.
Yes, so you can translate it as always because it's a continuous state. And what if you want to say dad has never smoked cigarettes?
爸爸一直都不 抽烟.
Perfect. It's actually a tricky one because it's never, not continuous or always. But yes, you've done a good job. You can say 一直都不抽烟, so never smoked.
Oh, for all this time, continuously, this action never happened.
Yes, that's how you use it.
That's very interesting.
Yes, so it's a good way to use 一直. And then
意志.
探索.
To explore.
To explore. See, 探索 is a word that can be used both as a noun and as a verb. So it can be exploration as well.
探索. Can it be used for even physical exploration in Earth?
Yes, I think so. Unless you're stressing the meaning of adventurous. In that case, it's not explore anymore. But if you're thinking about explore a cave as a adventure, then definitely you can use 探索.
Okay.
Physical 探索 as well. 下去.
下去, to continue this action.
To continue. 人类.
Humanity.
总会.
I would say always.
Yes, actually is always, but here it carries the meaning that definitely will happen someday. So at the end of the day, this thing will happen. So for example, if you continue to learn Chinese, you will at the end of the day or one day you definitely will master it. 如果你一直坚持学中文，总会学得很好. So it carries the meaning that if I'm taking a step back, still at the end of the day, in the end of your continuous effort, this will happen. It will definitely happen.
Even if it's in the distant future, one day it will happen for sure.
Yes.
Okay.
一天.
One day.
One day. 能.
It can, it will.
实现.
Realize, come true.
Come true, realize, yes. And also actually, 实现梦想 is kind of a set phrase.
Dream come true.
Dream come true, perfect. So 梦想 we know is your dream because 梦 carries the meaning of a dream, a literal dream that you have during nighttime when you're sleeping. And 想 means to think about or to dream about. So in Chinese, actually, we say 晚上会做梦.
做梦, to dream?
Yes, 做梦 means to dream. It's a very neutral word. Once you sleep, it's possible that you dream. Whereas 梦想 is definitely a very positive kind of word. Use it to describe the kind of dream that you actually have, that you want to realize through your effort someday.
Oh, so this is a question that I wanted to ask if I could use 梦 without xiang in this phrase, but now I have my answer that it's actually not as in English, where it's just dream, either for the actual dream for the night or a daydream, something like that.
Oh, if you want to talk about daydream, then it's 白日梦.
白日梦.
So 白天, that's the day. 日 means day, so 白日 means day. 梦 is dream, so daydream would be 白日梦.
白日梦. Oh, yes. So we have a word for everything. This is perfect.
Yes. Okay, and then 是啊.
是啊, absolutely.
Absolutely. That's the conversation. Do you have any questions?
No, actually, you cleared all my doubts.
I'm very glad. Let's give it a go then.
Perfectly.
这部关于星际旅行的电影，我看了5遍，推荐给你。
星际旅行听起来很遥远啊。
我也觉得现在的科技还不够成熟。
但我相信一直探索下去，人类总有一天能实现这个梦想。
是啊。You're listening to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Georgia Musset. We would love to hear from you. Send us your thoughts via email to learnchinese@cri.com.cn. Coming up next, let's continue talking about interstellar travel. Don't go away, so you will take some Chinese away. Welcome back to Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin, joined by Georgia. So Georgia, I was wondering, if you think about all the sci-fi works, movies, TV series, drama, books, what is your absolute favorite that you'd like to recommend to our listeners out there?
Well, as I mentioned before, I'm a big fan of Star Wars, but I've been reading sci-fi novels, and I've recently read a Chinese one. It's called Black Widow. So it's a story about Yītiān, but in a different galaxy. It's actually very interesting to both learn Chinese, but at the same Chinese history. But it's, of course, it's changed and places are not the same. So I would definitely recommend that. And I want to start watching Star Trek. Actually, I've never seen it before.
Wow, you are definitely a fan of this genre. To start with, Star Wars in Chinese would be 星球大战.
星球大战.
Yes, so 星球, we talked about 星际, that's among stars. 球 is the globe. So 星球basically means the stars. And war is 战争, but here 大战, like major wars. This is the kind of words you use for literature, for these kind of different works that want to express the feeling of, oh, these are major words. It's majestic, so it carries that meaning. So 星球大战.
星球大战.
Yes, that's a Star Wars, 星球大战. As for Star Trek, it has actually a more dreamy kind of Chinese translation. That's 星际迷航.
星际迷航.
We know 星际 is among stars. 迷 carries the meaning of mysterious, fantasized, hard to describe, hard to understand kind of meaning, whereas 航 means travel. The 航 kind of travel or kind of trip is usually used for traveling through the ocean. So 航行, 在大海中航行, travel in the ocean, because the ocean is so vast, it's so unknown, and it takes a long time to travel in a big cruise in the sea. So 航行 makes you feel like the track or the journey is really long and far away.
Okay, this is very interesting. And I think that humanity has always been so fascinated by things we don't know. Both the ocean, but also interstellar galaxies. And it's nice to see how far our imagination takes us. We created movies, books, and a whole series just talking about interstellar travels, which is something we've tried to do, but we actually never did. And our imagination for something we don't know, it's actually kind of impressive.
It's very impressive. And in recent years, actually not recent years, I think among Chinese young people, this saying has always been quite popular. That is, 我们的征途是星辰和大海. So 星辰 we know is the stars, and 大海 is the ocean. 征途 is our journey. It's talking about our journey. Our destination is supposed to be within the vast ocean or in the vast space. We should aim for the far away, for the distant, and we should have higher hopes, we should have higher dreams, and we should be more ambitious, basically.
That's actually very true. What we see is just a very tiny, tiny part of what the universe, the galaxies are, but not in the planet Earth we live in. We're just a tiny little part of it, so we should aim for more. And I think interstellar travel, trying to achieve it, is a very big part of it.
Yes, it's definitely a big part of it. And when people say that or use that saying, it's not only about the actual interstellar travel, it's not about the actual science that's required for space travel or space science, rocket science. It's also the kind of sentiment that you have just expressed. That is, we live in this day in, day out, everyday life. We have missions, have tasks we need to fulfill every day, but we should never let go of our dreams. It's the case for each and every individual. It's also the case for each and every country that's trying to explore what's in the vast ocean, what's in the vast space, and what else can we explore? What's some unknown area that we can actually have more understandings about?
I completely agree with you. Sometimes we hear the saying, why should we, for example, explore the moon or other planets or even interstellar travel since we're here and we don't want to go there? But at the same time, thinking about it, we've explored so many things, so many different things. It's because we're curious that we've achieved so much. So why not keep on going, and we'll try even to go further, because it's what we want to aim.
Definitely. As for the actual situation happening in the genre of interstellar travel, actually China has scheduled 4 missions to its space station in 2024, including 2 manned missions, the Shenzhou 18 and the Shenzhou 19, and 2 cargo spacecraft, the Tianzhou 7 and the Tianzhou 2028. And China also plans to expand its space station in near-Earth orbit by launching a new module that will dock with the existing structure and create a cross-shaped combination. So I guess with spaceship, space station, and everything, we can expect in the future, probably not the near future, but definitely 总会有一天人类能实现星际旅行的梦想。
That's so true. I hope so too.
And that brings us to the end of today's Takeaway Chinese. I'm Niu Honglin with Georgia Massette. For more episodes of the show, you can visit our website at radio.cgtn.com and go to the column podcast. You can also listen to the show and read the script there. Find us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Just search for Takeaway Chinese. Don't forget to leave your questions, comments, and most importantly, a 5-star rating. 感谢收听，我们下次再见。
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for listening. 再见。